Hey y'all, what's good? Welcome to episode 7 of What's Good Live and Unfiltered. Today we have an amazing lineup of guests. We have the fellas of our cigar community who all have segments of the industry in their own organizations. So, what I wanted to do before we even start this thing off, I want to say thank you all for your continued support. Thank you so much for helping us get to 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And, just all the love and everything that you all flow into our world. We hope that we continue to entertain you guys and continue to bring you guys amazing content. And, of course, these amazing people that belong to our cigar industry. We're going to have a question and answer session at the very end of the show. It's going to be the open forum section. So hold your questions until the end, but think about what you want to ask our guests. And you're going to come up with some questions as we go along because we're going to be interviewing them one by one. But let's go ahead and get started. I want to bring my beautiful co-host and, of course, my best friend, Michael, who will be a part of this show. So let me bring Michael back on.
Hey, what's good? What's good with it?
How come I can't hear you?
I don't know why you can't.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you're delayed.
I'm sorry?
You're delayed.
Oh, well, better late than never.
So let's bring Arlene in.
Absolutely.
What's good? What's good?
What's good?
We have the theme of blue today to represent all of the brothers of the leaf. Okay. So, and Casey, where you at? There she is, Casey. We have some delay going on today. I don't know why.
Casey, how are you doing? Can you hear us okay?
Can you hear us, Case?
You got that little delay thing going.
Yes, she does. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have our panel interviews, right? Mm-hmm. And the ladies, when we kicked off the Sisters of the Leaf, the ladies did it. That's one of the highest views. That's one of the highest views YouTube episodes that we have to this day. So let's see if the guys can beat that.
Oh, you already know.
Right, let's see if the guys can beat that.
My boy Mike B says you already know. You already know.
All right, let's introduce our guest for today. Is that cool?
Okay, so yep. So we're gonna get off the air. So you can go ahead and introduce the guest, Arlene.
All right.
All right. Is Casey, can you hear us? All right.
Yeah, she was able to go.
All right. So look, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited with this lineup for today. We have some amazing gentlemen, brothers of the leaf, just some superstars joining us for today. So let me introduce them all. We got JJ Williams. We got Boston Jimmie. We have Jay Ferguson. And we have Monteith SKULLY Colclough. Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's close enough.
All right. Okay. It's Colclough. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We are just excited to have you all and to hear your stories and to hear, each one about you guys and what you do for the industry, how you're just making your mark. So we are really excited to have you.
Well, happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Excited?
Excited.
All right. All right. We got California. We have Boston Jimmie. There's Boston Jimmie. I'm so sorry. Did I forget you? Can you hear me? Jimmie, can you hear me? I guess there's a delay. So we might have some technical difficulties today, you guys, so just be patient with us. Boston Jimmie, can you hear me? Okay. I'm sure he's there. We see him smiling.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks
right.
good.
So where's everybody from? Which different states?
I'm down in South Florida.
Okay.
Arkansas.
Scully, Arkansas. Okay.
Yes.
And we got Cigar JJ from California.
San Diego, baby.
All right. And Boston Jimmie.
Go figure.
Frozen
Boston,
in
baby.
time.
He's frozen.
He's
Okay.
frozen.
So Boston Jimmie's from Boston. Boston. All right, y'all. So
It's like weekend. At
welcome
Bernie's.
again. We're gonna put you guys in the
Amen, Burton.
poor Jimmy. Okay.
Jimmy's weekend
So we're
at
gonna put
Bernie's.
you guys back in the green room.
All right.
We're gonna put you guys back in the green room. So hold on. And I got JJ now with me.
What up,
Okay,
Arlene?
JJ, it's me. It's me and you, boo. What's going on?
What's good?
I like your background.
You like that? That's my backyard.
Yes, it's
I'm at
beautiful.
home today.
So,
It's a vacation day for me. Something I don't normally do.
oh, so and you're joining us. So thank you so much for
Wait,
taking your
And
vacation.
I'm doing this.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
shoot.
I'm
What
gonna
are you
drink a little
smoking?
bit.
What are
First
you
time
smoking?
ever. What am I smoking today? Today I'm smoking Agranosa Leaf Supreme Torpedo Box Press. Probably my favorite cigar to be smoking right now. It's fantastic.
You've been trying to get me to smoke that, so I have to try it. So JJ Williams, aka Cigar JJ, or is it white chocolate? What is it?
Ooh, how'd you know about white chocolate? How'd you know about white
I
chocolate?
just heard from the grapevine.
You know, that's DJ White Chocolate.
Ah, okay, DJ White Chocolate. All right.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so JJ.
that's my DJ name. Yeah.
So JJ, did the cigar game choose you, or did you choose it, and why?
Did the cigar
Yeah.
game choose me? Good question. You know, I needed this cigar game. I was a high-strung, kind of overly stressed out teacher at the time, and one of my buddies got me hooked on cigars to relax.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's it choosing me or me choosing it, but finding that cigar and then meeting all my cigar buddies in California just introduced me to the game, and I've been in it ever since. Never could get away. Right? It was like it just kept pulling me back in all the time.
Wow. God, JJ, we didn't. You know, everybody has such a past and a history, so I wouldn't have known that. You know, so thank you for sharing that with us. Now, so you start this. You know, you get into the cigar industry. How did you start off? Where did you start? You were in Vegas. When I met you, you were in Vegas.
Yeah, everything started at a little cigar lounge in Pasadena, California called Sanisa Cigar Lounge.
Okay.
Me and my buddy Sam Hong, we were smoking buddies, and we were looking for a brand new cigar lounge, and there happened to be a cigar lounge just opening up, and it looked awesome. And we were there like 2 days after it opened. Ended up meeting some amazing people. And was offered my first part-time job. Like, hey man, you want to come and work the humidor? By my good buddy Tony Georgialian and Albert Hahn. That's how it all started. I just started working in a humidor. Then next thing you know, it was selling cigars. Then it was, moving to Vegas and, starting up a store in Fuego Henderson. I built that store up and worked there for 3 years, managed that, helped my buddy Raj at the Las Vegas Cigar Outlet. And then got offered the job at Lord Puffer. So just kind of did all that, took photos for cigar companies, just did everything I could to be involved in the business.
Wow. Now you were in Fuego too, right? In Vegas?
Yeah. I actually approached them back in, I think, 2000 and I think we started that in 2014, 2015. And I built that, me and my son built that store from the ground up. And thanks so much to Shar and Michael at in Fuego for trusting me to build them a store. And so we built a store in Henderson, and man, just blew it up. Just blew it up.
Wow.
So it was me and my son worked there for 3 years, and then he continued to work there for a couple more years after that.
Wow, I didn't know that, JJ. So then from Enfuego, you moved to Cigar Outlet.
Yeah, I helped my buddy
right?
Raj. Raj was actually that cigar lounge I was talking about in Pasadena. Raj was actually one of my clients. He's actually one of my customers. And then he says he wants to open up a cigar lounge in Las Vegas, and he asked me for help. And that's when all the Facebook Live stuff blew up, and Cigar JJ was born, and you know, and then
DJ White Chocolate.
Then, well, DJ White Chocolate was straight up in Fuego Henderson, and that was all my people from LA coming up to Enfuego for the November Big Smoke takeover party, where we scared all we scared every white person there was smoking cigars in Enfuego, because we had a takeover and it was nothing but OG hip hop heads, and we took it over, and it was the greatest night. It was the greatest night every year. I think Michael and Louie there a couple times. I mean, it was hot. It was hot.
I remember those. When I started coming, it was just like, it was kind of scary in the beginning, but I was like, oh my God, they're great parties. Okay, so so fast forward. So you are in Las Vegas. How did you get to California? What made you come?
That's Miss Angela Yu. Miss Angela Yu came knocking. She kind of jokingly off the collar said something about, you know, she's going to move to Tampa and do another store or something like that. And I kind of jokingly said, well, you know, if you want me to come take over Lord Puffer, I'd do it in a second. And she kind of did one of these like, whoop, what? And I was like, yeah. And she said, come down in January, an interview. I want to hire you. And that's what it was. And then between Nathan Colclough and Angela, we just made Lord Puffer happen. And there I am now managing, you know, the West Coast largest humidor, and in my opinion, one of the most fun and relaxing cigar lounges around. So I'm very, very blessed to be there and have the likes of, you know, you and all of our friends and family at Lord Puffer to be there with me, and you know, just kind of have fun.
It is. It's definitely home for us, JJ. So Lord Puffer was pretty established already when you came. So tell us some of the things that you're doing at Lord Puffer that is, you know, just taking it to that next level.
Well, first of all, Angela and Nathan are absolutely incredible at building cigar lounges and creating spaces that are kind of just like otherworldly, you know, just top notch. So yeah, I mean, I walked into a perfect, beautiful situation. But you know, everybody brings their own fun to it, their own ideas to it. You know, I built a boutique humidor in Henderson. I'm a big kind of smaller company cigar smoker. I mean, hence I'm smoking Agranosa right now. And I think, you know, for Lord Puffer, it's one thing to kind of build the store and dream the store, and then it's another thing to run the store day to day, every day, make sure the environment's good for people, make sure everybody's included, make sure there's events, make sure it's fun, and most of all, just make sure you have cigars, right? Because if you don't have cigars, then all the great people that are coming and visiting are going to be like, hey, what's up? You know, where's your cigars? And so I just try and stay on the tip of all new information, constantly training my team of people there to give the best customer service possible, as well as, you know, just great cigars. And we like to say, I mean, you've probably heard it a bunch of times, but I mean, Lord Puffer is really not about, you know, just the cigar experience. It's really about the people. And that's kind of where we just operate the whole engine from, is just caring about people and making our customer service the best it could be. So
it really is. It really is like family there. When you walk in, JJ, like you know, you just know how to take care of people. So I really appreciate that. Now during pandemic 2020, you and Angela did this thing called Cigar Bingo. That was amazing. Like, tell me how you guys came up with that concept, because who the hell does Cigar Bingo online?
So I used to play this stupid video poker thing on my phone, and they had this thing where like if you won enough chips, you got bingo balls, and then like that was my favorite part of the game was like watching them call the numbers, and if it lined up, you know, I won extra free coins. It was like old people video poker on my phone. I was bored, and I'm sitting there playing that one day, and I was like, oh my god, I wonder if Angela knows how to play bingo. I wonder if we could do it online. Like, would that be fun? And so then I told her, and she didn't know really what bingo was or like how it worked. So I talked to her, and she was like, yes, let's do it. And that's how bingo came about. I mean, we needed to find ways to adapt and to make money and to sell cigars and to have fun. And I enjoyed every minute I had with Angela on the screen. You know, we had so much fun, and then to be able to break it open and actually, you know, help pay our bills. I mean, that was really it. And then it ended up just blowing up and having fun.
It was huge. It was huge, and it was creative. So also, JJ, you have a kind of a unique way of doing cigar reviews. Let me show you this video real quick. Michael, can you play that video for us?
What is this?
JJ,
oh, Jesus.
I can taste the juice. The juice of the PJ. The P juice.
Come on, man.
Oh my.
It's kind of wet there. What's going on, JJ?
It's the juice.
Like very,
It's the juice.
Jesus.
The juice.
very wet.
Thank you, Carlito, for the juice. I love the
Oh
juice.
my god.
Look at that juice.
The smoke just coming out.
Coming out of the
nipple
juice hole.
of the juice.
Come on. Man, that is
Go
all
ahead.
right. Come on. At least tell this. First of all,
I've never seen a review like that.
First of all, I'm completely sober. Just want to say everybody that I was completely sober that night. I was taken over by the PJ that you gave me, that Carlito made, and it made such an impression on me. I didn't have anything else to say. I mean, that is what makes that cigar amazing, is the juice. It's the juice, baby.
Oh my god. Okay, look, we got to get to the other folks. But look, this is, you just bring so much laughter into my world, into everybody's world. Oh, look.
Oh my God.
What is that picture?
Oh my gosh, that is the first day of camp. Like that's like 7th grade. Or no, that's like, yeah, 7th grade, because they got the big schoolboy glasses on.
But JJ, that outfit, what is that from, like Zodi's or Gemco? Like, where the hell did that outfit come from?
Listen, we were straight up Kmart. Like that is what we
Kmart.
did. We were poor, and it was Kmart, bro. Kmart.
Man,
Straight up.
Those bands you were wearing were like, were they fake bands or were those real bands?
I think they were called cans. They weren't called Vans. I don't know. I'm digging those short shorts though. I still got it coordinated though. You see the red socks?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the red, like I got it. I got it coordinated.
I can dig it. You know, that red and blue was hot back then. So I appreciate
California was calling me. California was
it.
calling me back then. I was wearing red and blue. I was like, I'm gonna be on both sides. I'm good.
I think I had that outfit too. So yeah.
Jesus.
JJ.
All right. Well, hey,
Stick around.
there's one thing I want to say. Can I just say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, I will probably say this at the end, but what I want to tell you and Louie and everybody else that's doing the show is I'm so proud of you guys for representing females doing the right thing in the industry. Thank God you are not in bikinis, just freaking holding stupid cigars and selling crazy crap. I'm super happy that you're smart. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're bringing great stuff to all this show. As a father of 4 beautiful women of color, I just got to tell you, keep going at it. Keep doing it. Raise the bar for everybody so that everybody gets better.
Damn, thank you, JJ. We so appreciate that. So stick around because, you know, in our open forum, we're going to have some crucial conversations and shit. So stick around because I know you want to be part of that. So
I'll be here, baby.
Okay, babe. Hang out for a while. Go take a swim or something.
Thank you so much.
So let's bring in our other host is KC. KC. You're muted. There you go.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? There we go.
Hi, KC.
We have technical difficulties over here.
Yeah, a little bit delayed, huh?
Yes, it was crazy, but I think we've got it together now.
All right. Well, I'll leave you be.
All
Take
right.
it away.
Thank you. Thank you. So for those that don't know me, I am KC. Welcome to What's Good, our Brother Believer Edition. Today, I got Jay Ferguson with us.
What up, KC?
Hey, Jay, how you doing?
I'm good. Y'all need to get my name right. It's Jay Ferg, not Jay Ferguson. I don't know who y'all talking to today.
Really? Really? Okay. So we're going to go by Jay Ferg today.
I'm starting off aggressive.
Okay. Oh, you want to get aggressive? Okay. Well, since you want to get aggressive with that accent of yours, where are you from? Because that's not South Florida.
Originally, I was born and raised in the Bahamas. I moved to South Florida in 1986. But I've lived in multiple cities around the country, New York, Atlanta. So my accent's a little mixed up.
And where did you come? Where are you from? You said New York, and where are you originally from? Where's your family line from?
My family line's from the Bahamas. So we were born.
Bahamas. So that's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Bahamian, a little Bahamian.
Real island boy.
Yeah, little island boy with the New York City. Okay. You'll be in your short, with your shorts and your Timbs. Okay. So while you're talking about little island boy, talk to us about little Jay Ferg. Tell us about little Jay Ferg. Were you an angel or a troublemaker?
What does it look like? Look at his face. Look at this. This is an angel face.
What would your mama say?
My mother would say every gray hair she has came from me.
Okay, so we're gonna put you in the troublemaker category. Now, in school, were you quiet troublemaker, or were you like the class clown?
I was the bully.
Were you like 6'3" in 5th grade? How were you the bully?
Just because of the people I hung around. Like we were all like kind of like the kids in school that just like picking on everybody, and because we were all like, you know, we were all kind of like in that same vein of like, what can we get in trouble? What kind of trouble we can get into today? So, you know, when you roll with a crew like that, you know, people tend to be intimidated. So being that we were all kind of had that mentality of who can we make fun of? Who can we pick on today? The reputation just kind of precedes itself. So it just went from there. So it wasn't about size. It was more about just the intimidation factor of having a group of guys that I hung out with that were down to cause trouble just like I was.
So how many times did you get kicked out?
I missed that. You went out.
I said, how many times did you get kicked out of school then, Mr. Bully?
Well, I only got kicked out of school one time, but I spent a lot of time in what they call it, indoor suspension, in school suspension.
Yes, sir.
That was my home. That was my classroom.
Okay. So when you got to high school and you made friends and you were running the streets, what would your classmates say? You would have been voted most likely to do what?
Honestly, be in jail.
Really?
Yeah, when people see me that haven't seen me in a long time, it's funny, like they're surprised. A lot of people are surprised to see like how I turned out. Because when I was young, I just did everything as my mother would say. I went out of my way to find the wrong thing to do. So I'm truly blessed.
Goodness.
I'm truly blessed to be in the position that I'm in right now. That I actually, I got out of that, and I realized that there's more to life than just being a troublemaker and you know, being that guy. So, you know,
Okay.
I always tell people, I said, you know, God has a plan for me, and that plan was not get somewhere dead. So I took advantage of my opportunities to do better.
Okay. All right. So now that we're here, the cigar community knows you as an events guy. How did you get into events? What led to events?
All right, so what led to events was my passion when I was in high school was music. So I always thought I was gonna be in this. I was gonna be the next Russell Simmons. I'm gonna be a big music mogul.
Okay.
I did that early on in life. I spent some years in the music business, and then in 1997, I was hanging out with a friend, and she met Alonzo Mourning at a club. They were getting ready to do a big event in Miami, Zoe Summer Group annual charity weekend. Yada yada yada. I finagled my way in there, and I learned from that experience about producing events. And so from 1997 to now, I've
Okay.
been in the event game. But you know, it's not something that I intended to do. Not something like I started off saying like I want to do events or whatever. But in terms of cigar events, being that I had an events background and I still to this day produce some amazing events here in South Florida and now Atlantic City, it was only natural for me to want to produce a cigar related event in my city, and hopefully as this pandemic kind of like, you know, levels off, potentially start doing some events in other cities and other countries as well. I'm missing all of that.
Hey Jay, how you doing, man? Hey,
I'm good.
listen. So Casey, can you hear me right now? Yeah, she's probably having some issues on her end there with regards to the internet, obviously. I do have a
Okay.
question for you, though, sir.
Now you do events. What is the
You're still going out, in and out, Casey. You're still going out. So, Jason, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Tell me about your relationship with Mr. Melvin Rohn.
I would say around Melvin came into he moved down from Virginia. I think it was probably like around 2007.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you
Hey,
now.
can you hear me
So
okay, Jay?
Melvin came to Miami.
Am
Yep,
I
I can hear
freezing
you now,
up?
Casey. So Melvin,
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
you're going in and out.
You're going in and out.
You're like this. You're like Wu Tang. Yeah, so I met Melvin back in like 2007, 2006, 2007, and he worked with us at Zoe Summer Groove. He came in as our sponsorship director. So that's how our relationship started back in 2007.
Okay, so you owe your, I wouldn't say career, but you owe the beginning of what you're doing now based on having the opportunity to work with Melvin.
No, I only actually worked with Melvin for a year.
Okay.
I was at Zoe Summer. I was with Alonzo Mourning for 14 years.
Okay.
Melvin was only with us for a year.
Okay. Okay.
So, well, we kept our relationship going after that, you know. But he was actually he worked when I was there for 14 years. Out of the 14 years I was there, he was there for a year.
Mm.
But then I know he continued working with Zoe after the fact on some other stuff. But our relationship, yeah, I was there. By the time he got there, I was already there for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he
Okay.
came in and he actually came in and met me there.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was one of the original. I was one of the original people that started Zoe Summer Groove.
Mhm.
But coming towards the end, like many people, I've seen everybody because I was there from the very first year. I was the only person that was there from the very first year to the very last year. So I did the whole 14 years.
Wow. Okay. So then you moved on to doing other events here in Miami, and now you're doing Destination Herf, correct?
Correct. So basically, after Zoe, after they stopped doing Zoe Summer Groove after 14 years, There was a couple other guys that I worked with during that era, and we branched off and started doing other things. So we started doing the South. We used to do a lot of golf tournaments. We used to do probably about 20 to 30 golf tournaments a year for different foundations and charities. And then we morphed that into, we started doing a weekend in Baltimore for Ray Lewis called Ray's Summer Days. So we kind of took the same concept that we were doing in Miami with Zoe, and we took it to Baltimore to do it for Ray Lewis in Baltimore. We did that for about 10 years. And then after that, I worked with another organization that was also involved with Zoe as well. And we started doing some events. We did the Sister to Sister, Heart Day. We did a golf tournament up in New York. We did a lot of stuff, man. And then now, for the past 9 years or so, I've been consistently working with the same team. We started doing the South Beach Seafood Festival. Then we started doing Las Olas Food and Wine Festival. We do the Miami Beach Chamber Gala, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. We got Jimmy Johnson Fishing Tournament. We just launched our New Jersey version of that back in July. So now we're doing 3 fishing tournaments a year now. And of course, in the midst of all of that, I'm launching Destination Herf this January on MLK weekend.
Oh, congratulations. Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, you switched in regards to administrative individuals you're working with. You're still working with Keith. What is the difference between the other organization that you were working with and what you're doing now, currently moving forward with Destination Herf?
Well, only thing different, to be honest with you, is the name and the concept of the event. I think we kind of streamlined what we were doing in terms of what the event's going to look like. But internally, operations-wise, you're going to get the same quality of event that you've gotten from us in the past.
Oh, okay. So is your target market still the same? You still have the same reach of people, or you're looking to do a different market or group of people?
No, listen, my event's open to everybody, man. I'm not limiting myself to any one group of people.
Right.
And that's kind of like one of my main marketing goals, is to make sure that this event is produced in a way where everybody feels welcome and inclusive. And I don't want to make it seem like it's just a black event or a white event, because listen, when people go to Vegas or Miami for Big Smoke, they just go into Big Smoke. You know, when they go to Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, they just go to Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. And that's kind of the approach I want. I want an event that's just a cigar event. At the end of the day, you know, we're all smoking cigars. So I'm not here to produce an event for any one particular genre of people. I just want great people that enjoy a great cigar and great community of people to come out and enjoy the event. That's kind of my approach.
No, I appreciate that. As you're probably aware, you know, Louis and I do something similar to that. And again, you know, we like that diversified crowd. So I completely understand exactly the direction you're going with that, you know. And I have to tell you also, I don't know if you recall this or not, but one year we did a golf tournament out here, and you and I had an opportunity to speak, and you had assisted us with regards to the tents. And I really appreciate that you extending that olive branch. And you know, the gentleman I worked with, you know, did exactly everything that you said he was going to do, and then some. I mean, he offered to bring me a free tent. I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, I'm not going to be, you know, situated in one little spot. So I wanted to say thank you for that, just due to the fact that, you know, in this industry that we do and productions, that a lot of times people don't try to work and collab and try to help one another. So I wanted to say thank you, you know, with respect to that, because that's not something that Louis and I typically have when it comes down to doing and producing events. So I wanted to tell you thank you with respect to that, because I think I told you before, but you know, we're utilizing this platform. Whoever's going to see it now or see it later or see it on YouTube, I want to make sure that you guys understand that, you know, we did and I did reach out to Jay Ferg and to assist me with respect to, you know, some items I was in need of, because I didn't have access to those particular things. So, you know, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the unselfishness that you showed.
Well, I've always had that same mentality, and you know, I have 2 other businesses as well. You know, I have my graphic and my web design business, and I also have my printing business. And I'm the same way in those businesses as well. If somebody calls me and say, "Hey, Jay, I need someone that could produce this," I have no problem sharing information. That's just how I get down.
Right.
And as a business person, Listen, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if people didn't extend those same courtesies to me to get me to where I'm at right now. So
I
I'm not
appreciate
the
it.
type of person that's gonna take information and hoard it to myself, because I want to see everybody win, everybody be successful.
Right.
So, as long as you're not trying to hurt my business or hurt me personally, listen, I'll share the information. Don't. If I give you the information, don't go over there screwing my people over either. You know what I mean? So like, if I give you information, say, hey, yo, contact my people. They're gonna take care of you. Understand? I'm gonna put that call in. They're gonna take care of you. Just do your part and do the right thing by them, and then everybody's winning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that said, man, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to KC. KC, go ahead and unmute yourself. And I know you had a couple of more questions there for J. Ferg. Are you okay right now? KC, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to you. Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate you.
All right, no problem, brother.
I'm so sorry, Jay. I'm so sorry. So you guys were talking about your what I heard was you were talking about your other businesses and things like that. Which businesses are strictly cigar related? Destination Herf.
Destination Herb is really my only cigar related business right now. I have another project that I'm working on that I haven't had it. Honestly, I have another project that I've been working on for probably like the past 2 years, cigar related.
Okay.
But with COVID and everything else, I kind of pushed it back. Just kind of focus on Destination Herb, because prior to Destination Herb, we were working on another project for the past 4 years. So it was kind of like, well, since we got to rebrand ourselves and reintroduce ourselves to the industry in terms of this new event, we had to make sure that we put all of our focus there and put everything else to the side until we get this established. Let everybody know that we're here. It's a new brand. We're gonna make it happen. Then I will go back to the other cigar related ventures that I have in the pipes. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to overextend myself.
No, that's fine. And then with Destination Herf, what's next on the list? What's the next event that you've got going on? What do we need to know about?
So Destination Herf is going to be January 13th through the 16th here in Miami. It's going to be 4 days. We have some great events lined up, some amazing venues lined up. Our title sponsor is Caldwell Cigars, who's always been supporting me for the past few years. They came on board as my title sponsor. We have a couple other big sponsors that we're negotiating with right now. We'll probably be releasing some of those other sponsors in the next week or so. We're going to start closing real quickly. So it's going to be a great weekend of events. We encourage everybody to come down, experience it, enjoy it. Miami's going to be beautiful weather in January because it's going to be cold as hell everywhere else. But we're going to be sitting in this beautiful sunshine. So if you're in a cold weather city, by all means, if you want to get away and enjoy some cigars and some beautiful weather, come on down.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to have to wrap this up so we can squeeze our other guests in here and get them the airtime that you've gotten today. So I'm going to bring back our favorite hostess with the mostest, Louie.
All right.
And Louie will be interviewing the infamous Skully.
Skully, that's my interview. Thank you so much, Casey. Okay, y'all. So Arkansas is in the house. I'm gonna bring my brother in, Mr. Skully. Now, Skull, tell everybody about yourself. Introduce yourself, your full name. I know everybody calls you Skully, but your full name, where you're from, and then we'll go from there.
So, full name Monteith SKULLY Colclough, and from Little Rock, Arkansas area, Central Arkansas. Lived outside of the city for most of my life, but just kind of all around in that area. Been born and raised there. Never lived out of state anywhere else, and love it. Love it.
Whoa. How's the cigar culture out there?
It's growing. Of course, when you look at other cities, because we're kind of centrally located when you look at a map. So we could be in Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, Nashville, Any of those, Memphis is like an hour and a half away from my house. So we can be anywhere. And so compared to those places, it's small because we're spread out, right? The population is not as big as those other areas, but we've got some shops in Little Rock. We got about 4 or 5 cigar shops in Little Rock, and then Northwest Arkansas has some more, and then kind of South Pine Bluff, which is south of Little Rock, they have a couple there. So it's kind of spread out.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you the simple questions right now. What got you into cigar smoking?
Well, long time ago, I took a cruise and wanted to experience something different. And the crazy thing is I'd always smoked something. We'll just say it like that, since about 9th grade, 8th or 9th grade. So very much a part. Right. But when I went out of the country, and that was my first time going out, I wanted to do something different. Got to smoking the cigars, and loved it, enjoyed it. But of course, this is something that you can't really afford if you don't have an income to support it, right? So everybody can't do this on a regular, and I was that guy. Like, I couldn't keep this up because I had 3 kids, 2 in diapers at the same time.
Wow.
And so it was like, okay, I can do this ever so often, like treat yourself. But when I was able to get a better paying job and grow and move up and be a better manager with my finances, then it got to be on a regular basis. So it went from every now and then to a daily, weekend, daily, afternoon, whatever.
Yeah, this is not inexpensive. I mean, this is a very costly lifestyle. When you get deep into it and you want to get into the really good cigars, you end up paying a little bit more.
Yes.
But there's so many cigars out there now that are under $10 that are really good.
Right, but for a lot of people, that's still.
Yes. I mean, imagine one cigar. Even one cigar. Michael and I go through this thing where we go shopping, and we really rationalize everything we buy, but not with a cigar. When we buy a cigar, it's just like, oh, okay, I want that. It doesn't even matter the price. It's like, oh, well, I'll buy that. But if it was anything else, we would rationalize that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I invited you. I wanted to bring you onto the show because Michael and I are so extremely proud of you for what you are venturing into this coming September.
Yeah.
And so please explain to everyone what it is that you are actually doing.
So listening to everybody else, they're like OGs, and I'm like learning. So this whole experience is good. So I want to thank you and Michael for just thinking enough about me to invite me on the show, along with everybody else. And it's a learning experience. But yeah, I'm trying to grow the culture in the state. And so September 5th, we've got an event where we're doing called Arkansas Cigar Festival.
Yes.
And I didn't want to get myself too deep with trying to pull other people from other cities and, like some of the larger events and on another level. I was just trying to get the people in the state, the shop owners in the state, to come together in a central location where we could just enjoy the leaf. People could learn about these other shops across the state. So if they're so Northwest, we don't have a pro team. So the Razorbacks, University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, that's kind of like our pro, that's our team, you know what I mean? And so Northwest Arkansas is home base for like Walmart, Tyson Chicken, all these major corporations. They're based in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, so it's probably bigger than Little Rock, which is the capital. So that's why you got 6 or 7 shops just in that area, and very nice, And so if you go up there to a game or something like that, or passing through, you're going there on business, and you happen to find out about these shops through this festival, it's a cool thing, right? Because otherwise people don't know, And so, but prior to this, though, we kind of I put together a kind of cigar crawl where we actually went to Northwest Arkansas to visit some of the shops.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we couldn't get to all of them, but we definitely would stop by some and hung out, watched a game or two, and
nice.
Had a good time.
How did that go?
Culture.
How did that go? Was that difficult to coordinate working with a bunch of different cigar lounges to get that done?
No, I just kind of called them. So the cigar club I'm a member of is Rocktown Cigar Crew, and they kind of started, and I was just a member of that, and we just get together as a group and smoke, and then it was like, hey, let's do this and let's do that, and so I guess some kind of way I just became the coordinator of events. It wasn't given to me. I just wanted to do stuff to get out more, and so I started a few years ago just doing events on a smaller scale just to see how things go. And so this is the first time that it's this large that I'm doing. So it's brand new water. You know.
How do you feel?
Nervous.
You're gonna do fine.
Excited. I'm learning a lot from just from past events, learning a lot from you guys with the input, learning from my mistakes.
Yes.
Learning that everybody may not want to be a part. So,
you know, what are some of the challenges that you've faced? I know that I was going to ask this question, and I want you just to be open about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, what have been some of the challenges that you've faced in producing this event, being that it's the first one ever in Arkansas?
Well, probably one of the first challenges was like location, trying to find a venue that I could host it. So some prices they were like outrageous. Some outdoor venues didn't want you to even smoke outdoors. So it was just kind of all over the place. But then when I found a venue, which is a cool spot, and essentially located on the river downtown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was real cool. We had our wedding reception there, and I talked to him then about it. And this was last September. I was like, man, I'd like to do an event. So fast forward to the first of the year, and I guess around April, I was like, okay, talk to him serious about it. And then I just, kind of put the deposit down and said, okay, I'm going to make this happen. Nice. So then began the planning and trying to get, the shop owners. So it was like sending out emails and actually going to these different shops, talking to them about it, giving some of them that I knew personally a call, and some were, in and say, man, we got you, we'll support you. And some, they were like, yeah, that's a good thing. But you could tell they really weren't feeling it.
Right.
So it was like, okay, well, I'll keep them in the loop as far as where I'm at, what's going on, what I'd really like for them to be a part of, and this, that, and the other. And so I got feedback from a couple more, but some of them still, I hadn't heard anything. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to roll with what I got, make the best of it. I've learned to have backup plans just in case, because you try to not depend on one source for making things happen, right?
Right.
So, yeah. And so,
right.
And I got to say, too, my wife, Rhonda, has helped me out tremendously.
Yes.
Because I still work a 9 to 5. So this is not like my gig. This is, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still working. She works. And so we just work as a team to make sure things are in line. You got deadlines. We got to have this done by such and such time so this can happen. And so we work together as a team on it. And then the cigar club I'm a member of, they're real supportive about the events that I do, because it's not like their event, but we're like a close-knit family. So anything that I put together, they're showing up, supporting, and I love all of them for that. So could have been some bickering in that,
What I've noticed about Little Rock, that crew, you guys are a real tight-knit crew.
Yeah.
I know we were introduced to you and the Little Rock crew through Doc.
Oh yeah.
Doc, we all go way back with Doc back in Sacramento. So, he brought you guys into our life, and we're just so grateful for that, because it's been a great friendship since then.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're looking forward to meeting Rhonda. Now, Rhonda, you guys just celebrated your first wedding anniversary not too long ago. Now, was Rhonda a sister of the leaf prior to you meeting her?
Not. No, I actually met Rhonda at a cigar lounge, but she was not a cigar smoker like we are, right? She would smoke, but it wasn't like involved as heavy as we are. And so since we were dating and then since got married, Rhonda's palate has drastically changed.
Yes, it has. I saw her smoking a Padron the other day.
Yes.
I was like, you go, girl. I'm so proud of her. Her palate's changed quickly.
Yes, which can be expensive for both of us.
Yeah, Michael can tell you that. Once both of you smoke in the house, you'll be fighting over cigars in no time. In no time.
Right.
Well, I want to get you back into the open forum when we get into that, because there's some questions, and I know that there's you have some of your own experiences that you want to share.
Sure.
So let's put you back in the green room, and we'll get you back into the open forum probably in another 10 minutes.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you too. All right, Michael, where are you?
Hey, what's going on with you guys? What's good again?
We had to have the brother of the leaf on the show.
I'm sorry?
I said, we had to have you on the show.
Typically, I don't do this.
Typically, you don't.
Typically, I don't do this. Hey, Skully, and I call bullshit, man. I call bullshit. Hey, listen, if you would have asked me, man, look here. People always
bring Skully back. Bring Skully back.
Huh?
Bring Skully back. You talking to him?
Okay.
Where he at?
Hey, Skully, I call
bullshit. How I'm looking. What the hell?
People always ask me. People always ask me, and they're like, they say,
why you
Mike,
got me on the big screen?
They say, Mike, they say, how can I find somebody like Louie? I'm like, what are you talking about? I need a woman that can smoke. And I'm like, man, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. This is the only Mike that you motherfuckers don't want to be like. I'm just saying. you don't want to be like this motherfucking Mike. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
So what you calling bullshit on?
Hey, because I know what the hell happened in fucking Arkansas, and you being all nice and shit.
No, we'll talk about that later.
Wait a minute. Where you going, man?
We gonna talk about that in an open forum. So I'm gonna bring your ass back, put you in the hot seat.
Really, Michael?
You know what? Tell the truth and shame the devil.
That was my interview.
I know.
So who do you have? You have Boston Jimmie.
You know what? I have a gentleman, Mr. James Robert Vita. You guys know him as Boston Jimmie. Boston Jimmie. He's a Florida Tech alum. I got to find out about the Boston, because I know that he spent a little bit of time, in New York as well. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring him in, and then we'll bring everybody else back on board here in a moment.
All right.
Mr. Vita, how you doing, sir?
How are you, Mr. Vita? That's what my teachers would call me.
Hey,
that's why I'm Boston Jimmie to everybody now.
Hey. I first and foremost, man, be safe. You're up there north, and it's so funny. You got the storm, it was supposed to come here, and it said fuck Florida, and it kept going, and now it's going up there, and you up there.
Yeah,
but
we had a death to the family, and we drove up from Melbourne.
Wow.
And we kind of were racing the storm. So
right.
I'm in the foothills of the Catskills right now.
Wow.
So it's really what you're seeing is just kind of rain, but it's not, this thing actually hit Connecticut and Rhode Island. So way out in the islands.
Okay.
Too. So this is just,
you're good.
It's a big lake in the back here. And this is just.
Well, our condolences, man, from the What's Good, live and uncut, unfiltered, all of us, man, and condolences, man, to your family, dude. And it's been a tripped out weekend, or during the week, and especially during this weekend, because I know I personally received about 3 messages of people that personally know that are no longer here with us any longer, and it's like, man, you know, we don't take life for granted, but we do take life for granted, you know. And I said this last year going into New Year's, you know, if you got a problem with somebody, you know, fix the shit if you can fix it. You know, this shit is too short. Majority of us here are on the back end. You know, we probably did a lot of damage on the front end. We're all pretty much on the back end. And, you know, let's kumbaya, you know, like Jay first said earlier, you know, let's, you know, let's do some shit together. But man, listen, I wanted to ask you, you currently, so you're an electrical engineer by trade.
Yeah.
But then for whatever reason in the industry, you didn't do typically like everybody else. You didn't, you know, come out with a cigar. You didn't do a lounge, anything like that. You wanted to be more so on the media side. And I mean, and everybody knows you, dude. And it doesn't matter, you know, you hit both perspectives. You hit all perspectives when it comes down to race and color and culture and all of that. And I noted initially you started off trying to do the magazine. You know, tell everybody what happened with that magazine, man, and why that didn't work out, and why you ended up, you know, switching gears and going more towards the online, because you call it an online cigar lifestyle magazine. So, you know, explain that.
So, you know, what I was doing back in the 90s, a friend of mine, fellow engineer, two of us were big cigar guys back in the 90s, just enjoying cigars, consumers, and we decided that we wanted to create a kind of a regional magazine in Central Florida, and we were going to call it Central Florida Cigar Smoke Magazine. And the idea was keep it regional. Everything was, you could smoke anywhere back then, you know, in restaurants, in the Chili's, you could smoke. I mean, it was pretty wild back in the day. And we decided we'd create this magazine and it would be free. We would just distribute it all around these different areas, these different shops and places you could smoke cigars. And we started to do some writings and sample writings. We put together an advertising portfolio, had everything ready to roll. We had the printer lined up. We knew exactly all the numbers. We were engineers, so we had all of that figured out. And we were ready. And we even had the cover photo of the inaugural issue. And it was beautiful what we were going to do. And we went out and we tried to, you know, we're going to drum up some advertising, because if you're going to do a print magazine, you damn well better have people paying, because you just can't launch it. It becomes costing lots of money.
Right.
So we started knocking on doors, you know, walking into shops and restaurants, and everybody's like, I don't know you, and I don't know this, you know, I know you, but I don't know what you're doing. And it didn't matter. We were terrible ad salesmen at the time. So the whole project failed, right? And I shelved it. And over time, my new wife, she looked at me one day. She's a website developer, and she goes, you know, why don't you just create a website? And I said, well, that's a brilliant idea. You know, the most simple things, right? So I said, well, let's go figure it out. So we created this thing called SpaceCoastCigars.com. And SpaceCoastCigars.com was a kind of have an online cigar magazine format. And what we ended up doing is we launched that, and I got some, I didn't get any advertising yet, but it didn't matter, because you could start at least write and have people notice you. And what happened was I took an assignment up in Detroit, and I'll never forget, I walked into this lounge up in Detroit called, and I'm drawing an old man blank for a second, Danielo's Cigar Lounge in Dearborn. And there's a 6'8" gringo behind the counter with a Detroit Tigers hat on. And he looks at me in my Red Sox hat and says, you can leave. And I'm like, now we're friends. And that guy was Ryan Gallimore, who now works for Drew Estate and had his own line. Big Ryan. Everybody knows Big Ryan, right? Little Ryan Gallimore, LRG. So we sat down, we got to talking about the project, what we're doing. And he says, why do you have a regional site, your website? You know, he's like, it's global. Go do it. So we sat down one Saturday afternoon, going through names, looking at different domains, and we came up with Stogie Press. It was like $7.95. I said, I bought it. I looked at my wife. I said, take this thing. Now you go back to the hotel, because I'm up there for 3 months. I said, you go back to the hotel And I want you to take everything you did on Space Coast, which wasn't a lot, but retransform everything and put everything on this thing called Stogie Press. And then Ryan looks at me and says, now that you're part of the cigar media, you can now go to the IPC PCR. And I said, well, how do I do that? He goes, well, it's easy. You just go and register, and you pay your dues, which was like $400 or $350 at that time. And you go to the show, and I'll be there, and I'll introduce you to people. And, you know, friends take care of friends, you know. And he walked me around and introduced me to a lot of people. And from that point forward, history was made. That was almost 8 years ago. So this has been a hell of a journey. I love doing what I do. I just love writing about cigars, cigar culture, everything I can do to help the industry. I'm all in on. So, and I see the payback on it. People now, I've got advertising, people following me. It turned out to be a beautiful thing, and my passion now continues to press forth through my words in my writings.
Right. Well, I appreciate that, man. Because, you know, we did an event out here and you wrote a little bit something about us, and we appreciate that. You know, we don't get approached by a lot of people when it comes down to writing. And I don't know if that's has to deal with, you know, whatever exposure that we've been doing, because, you know, we've been doing this stuff for quite some time ourselves too. Now, you know, because you're in the media and because you obviously have accumulated, you know, relationships outside of Ryan, you know, with various different manufacturers, various different retail, you know, it's a sensitive subject, and it's not a sensitive subject. You know, your personality enables you to be able to deal with all different facets of the cigar world and culture. What do you pay tribute to with respect to how you're able to do that?
I think I have the gift of gab to start with. All right. I am the opposite of your introverted engineer, right? I'm the extrovert, right? So I have no problem talking to anybody. My wife will tell you, we were in Vegas once for a show. She was in the hotel and I was at an event, and it was about 2:00 in the morning, and she calls me and she says, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm on my way back." She goes, "It's 2:00 in the morning." Well, I met these guys. They were having a bachelor party and we're hanging out. They're from England. I'm showing them how to smoke cigars. So, well, where are you? I said, "We're sitting on a bench on the street corner." She goes, "You're talking to your ass." She's talking to total strangers on a street corner in the middle of the morning. That's, I think, partly is what does it, because I enjoy talking to people. I have no problem. I don't care who you are, color of skin, religion, race, creed. Doesn't matter your political affiliation. I'm going to sit back and we're going to have a conversation and have time with it.
Well, I mean, obviously everything is, you know, and that's a wonderful thing. So, I mean, Jimmy, tell us about a scenario, a situation where they weren't real favorable for you, and the support level that you thought you were going to be able to get, they didn't provide to you.
From the cigar industry?
Yeah.
I've been received well. I've never had a major problem. I mean, I'll put it this way. I did write a bad review once. And it turned out there's no such thing as bad press, because that just went virally nuts. Because the individual I wrote the review on, he didn't like it. He sucked his minions on me. They started slamming on my site. Comments came in. Views shot up. It just went nuts. And then people that were following me were arguing with them, and they were battling back. And I just sat back and ate the popcorn and watched them all fight it out.
Wow.
And in the end, it's like, I'm sorry, your cigar really wasn't that good. Your other two ones I reviewed, you got decent reviews. This one wasn't good. I'm sorry. And he took total offense to it. And you know, and I'll be honest. In hindsight, that did trigger some things in me, some changes in what I do. I did make sure that I have a much more, I have a better system that I feel is fair to everything. And one thing I'll do, and people ask me all the time now, how come you don't have really bad reviews on your site? And I'm like, because if your cigar's not worthy of my site, it's not going on my site. And I'm not trying to be like totally like arrogant about that. It's just like people don't want to really read about bad cigars, right? People want to know good cigars. They don't have to be great cigars, but they're good cigars. They're worthy cigars. If you get an 83, it's still a decent cigar. If it's going to come in and it's going to get my thing's going to score down in below 80s and the 70s, it's like, why? I'm not here to bash your business. I'm not here to hurt your cigar business. Well, what I will do is I will contact you as a brand owner and say, here are the photos, here are the notes, here are the things I think that are wrong with this cigar and why I'm not posting a review on this. And you might want to fix it. And if you don't, that's fair. That's your job. But I'm not going to let the whole world, I'm not going to tell the whole world, don't buy that cigar. It's not, I don't think that's good. That's not good for the industry. This industry is too small. We need to work together as best we can. And if my working together means you have a cigar and I tell you, here's what I think is bad about it, most brand owners really appreciate the fact that I did that. And they take it back to their factory because they don't own factories. A lot of these guys, they take it back and they say, hey, what's going on with it? Why did this happen? And then they fix things. And sometimes they fix it and I get a new cigar a year later and it's like, wow, this is a really much better cigar. So I feel good that I maybe help move their needle one way or another.
That's a wonderful thing. So in regards to that, you're talking about reviewing cigars. So other than the cigars, with the online presence in a magazine, like I stated, you wrote about an article about events. So do you typically, how do you select what events that you're going to be involved with? Is it based on somebody inviting you, or what do you base that on if you're going to go to an event and you're going to be subjective about the event and the article that you write about that?
Well, most of the time, if I'm going to an event, it's an event that I've been invited to. There are a lot of events out there, but I usually get invited to the event, and I'll cover that event and work my ass off doing that while everybody else is sitting back enjoying cigars. I will also occasionally, if I'm in an area, if I go to a lounge and something's going on, and I happen to be there on either business travel or personal travel, I'll stop in and do a whole article on the event or the shop itself. I do a lot of shop reviews also, because I think it's important to continue to press out not just cigar reviews, but the lifestyle, what's going on, how it's working.
Right.
Like when we were doing back in the days, like in Black Smoke Miami, right? I went in right away on that. I connected up with TK in the beginning. I said, I love what's going on. Let's go down and cover this. And I went back and forth on that numerous times to cover that event. We covered your ship event, okay, which was spectacular.
Thank you.
So I enjoy doing that. I was hoping I would have been at the Connecticut Barn Smoker this year, but they got canceled. So I'm not going to, and the same thing with the one in Dallas. I would have been there too, but it's wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen, I appreciate it, man. And again, condolences for what's going on with the family. What I'm going to do right now, man, I'm going to bring everybody back to the cast, and we're going to go ahead and start the open forum. And you individuals that are watching right now, go ahead and get your questions together that you want to ask for Jimmy or Jay Ferg or, JJ or Skully. And if you want to ask one of the ladies any questions, by all means doing that. So first I'm going to go ahead and bring Miss Louie back. And I'm going to go ahead and Miss Arlene, Miss Casey, you guys go ahead and unmute yourselves. And I want to go ahead and bring Mr. Ferg back and Mr. Skully back and Mr. JJ back. Can everybody hear right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a hell of a crew right there. That's it. That's a hell of a crew you got right
It's
there.
a good looking
Hey, you know what, man? It's not my crew, man. They say I'm Charlie and then the
We look
angels and shit, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So if we have any questions from the audience, please go ahead and write them in and submit them so that these guys can go ahead and answer any of your questions. And then again, ladies, if you guys want to, go ahead and jump in directly when you want to ask these guys some questions. By all means, go ahead and do that. So what I'll do, Casey, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you. If you have any other questions you have for Jay Ferg or for Scully or for JJ or even for Jimmy, go ahead and shoot your shot.
I've got a question that all of you gentlemen can answer. As we seem to be a younger generation of cigar smokers, and we are definitely not traditional. So for each of you, where do you think the industry is going? And who do you think are the industry interrupters? Whether it's a brand or someone who's on the lifestyle side. So Jay, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Or whoever.
I was just going to say, I can make a real couple simple statements on that. I think that, the pandemic made tectonic shifts in this industry, okay, that we never saw coming. Just what we're doing here, and even the Zooms alone that people get on to talk to people all around the world that maybe you were Facebook chatting with. Now you're actually visually smoking cigars in your house, potentially in their houses all around the world. I think that was a tectonic shift. What also came out of that was, I think, the big movers and shakers of companies like Liga Privada Club, right? The Privada Club, they have exploded during the pandemic and what they're able to do. The Limited Cigar Association. These are new entries into this industry that have made huge strides over the last 18 months. And they're bringing people into cigars. The younger generations, the 21 to 25, even 30-year-olds that maybe weren't into cigars, started to get more into enjoying the culture through these Zooms, all right? Because their friends were on them and they were kind of joining in and coming over to hanging out. And they're, wow, this is the night. And next thing you know, everybody's smoking cigars. So I think we're in another boom right now, bringing in some the younger generation, the new generation that's moving up. I'm an old guy. I'm moving out. Right? But I think it's wonderful what's going on in the industry.
Jay.
Okay, who else has got something?
Jay Ferg, you got anything with respect to event production on that end? What you've seen change across the years that you've been doing this? Maybe the ladies that have come in and actually started participating and attending events? Oh, unmute yourself, honey.
All right, there we go. From the event perspective, like when we started 5 years ago, it was kind of like we were told that we were crazy for attempting when we were attempting doing a 5-day cigar event, and to now see 2020, 2021, there's a million different 5-day cigar events, so I think like just from that perspective alone, because back then there was, there were like, the Big Smoke, Great Smoke up in West Palm Beach with Big A. You had the event out in Colorado, Rocky Mountain, and I just seen it change to the point now where it's like every other week there's a new cigar event popping up. That's 5 days, 4 days, whatever the case may be, and you're seeing like a whole bunch of. It's funny because you're seeing the crowd at these events that are like, it's so diverse in terms of like male, female. I first started smoking cigars many years ago. There were no females in the cigar shop. There were only a bunch of guys sitting in there. And I used to be that guy in the club, in the regular club, smoking a cigar, and everybody looking at me crazy because I'm smoking a cigar. Nobody was smoking cigars in the club. And now it's like I go out and smoking a cigar, I'm almost looked at as like a hero, like, oh my God, you're smoking a cigar, But I remember that I go back far enough smoking cigars to where if you smoke a cigar in public, you got the side eye, And from an event perspective, there just weren't a whole lot of cigar events going on. But now it's like you know what's become. It's just like more people started smoking cigars, more women, everything else. It's like cigars events are like the thing to do now. It's like let's do a cigar event. You
Right.
know, that's the
Right.
part like I'm seeing now from that perspective. Like everybody feels like my city can host a cigar event, which is
Right.
fine. And I'm like, I support everybody. Do your thing, make it happen, but just make sure that you do it the right way and you represent the culture the right way and you make it something where people want to come back and support it and have good things to say about it. Don't just do it just to say you're doing a cigar event and you're not going to put the work into really make it a quality event. And people are going to be very proud to say, yeah, I enjoyed that event. Can't wait till next year.
Right.
What about JJ? JJ, from a retail perspective, what are you seeing come in? What are you seeing a lot of females? You seeing some young folks? What are you seeing?
JJ, unmute.
Unmute, JJ. Unmute. Unmute yourself.
There we go.
Okay.
I think, for me, what I notice is young people coming in and saying, oh, I welcome the Lord Puffer. And they say, oh, I'm a brand new smoker. I don't know very much. But, I've been reading online about this Medio Tiempo leaf that's used only in Ecuador. And I'm like, the hell are you talking about? Like, you're a brand new smoker. How'd you get this information? And then I'm like on my phone while they're talking and looking around like, what the hell is Medio Tiempo? And I got to find out what the hell this is.
Yeah.
So they're armed with so much more information, and it makes it so much more exciting and fun because they're coming in, they've been online, they're watching shows. Just like Jimmy said, like, there's so much more educated first timers coming in. And, when I used to just be able to say, well, the light color cigars are more mild and the, darker, like you can't do that anymore. You have to up your game. And I think that's really great for the industry with people just becoming more and more educated. It just makes us as retailers have to really step our game up, train our teams, and make sure we have the kind of stuff that they're looking for. So it's just more fun. And it's definitely younger cats and a whole lot more ladies.
Wow. That's good.
Exactly.
PJs.
So the
Oh my.
like Scully. Let me get Scully in here.
There.
Michael, take that off.
Oh God.
Geez, Mike, come on, Mike.
The juices.
Come on, Mike. Come on, bro.
Oh my
Man,
goodness.
Arlene, I'm not
What is
letting
that
you
about?
Arlene, you're not allowed to tape anymore.
The pea juices.
It's the pea juice
The pea juice.
coming out the pea hole.
Right.
Oh
Come
God.
on, man.
It's the pea juice.
Are there
Hey,
any
but no,
audience
hey.
questions, Michael?
But JJ, you spoke about something earlier in regards to Louis and Arlene, Casey, and them, and how they represent themselves and Ty, and I really appreciate that. You got a lot of ladies out there that are trying to be, lack of a better word, influencers. I want you to elaborate on that, what you think it is, and what you think is going on, and why we're doing all of this sexual shit to try to come up.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know why people are, doing it. I guess it's always been something that, I don't know, men have liked watching women smoke cigars. But really, my comment was really just based on, I really value when people are adding substance to what they're talking about, when they're educating other like-minded people, really trying to up the game of, just the entire culture, the cigar world, and not just trying to get likes or, hearts on their reels. It seems interesting to me. Also, like I said earlier, I've got 4 daughters, and I want them to watch this kind of show and not watch the kind of show where some chick is just, selling their boobs instead of, what the cigar world's actually about. It's about relaxing. It's about connecting. It's about networking. It's about breaking down barriers and sitting next to the guy that, you would never sit next to, or talking to the lady you wouldn't normally meet in the grocery store, whatever, like, and that's the kind of stuff that I think I'm just happy is starting to come about, because we do have to, as a man, as a father, and as a general manager of a cigar store, I got to make sure that everybody's welcomed, everybody has a space, and that no one feels objectified or messed with, and just had that opportunity for females to really present themselves in a way that's uplifting. I mean, that's really what it is. And as far as influencers go, I mean, I don't think anybody's ever come into my store and bought a cigar because some chick was in a bikini. I just don't think so.
Well,
I
thank
think
you
they
for that.
I think they came into Lord Puffer because Angela Yu built a beautiful store and is an incredible businesswoman. That's why I think. That's how the influence came, because she's a mover, she's a shaker, she's educated, she knows tobacco, she knows business, she knows how to build, and that's why people come to Lord Puffer. And I'm so thankful to be a part of something built by a woman,
Thank you for
and I
that.
can keep doing it. Absolutely.
Love it. Thank
That's
you,
strong.
JJ.
That's deep.
And so, Jay Ferg, there's a question for you, sir. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you, on here. And so the question coming from, him as Brother Slim, Jermaine Wilbley, he basically said, Jay Ferg, who or what got you so determined to put your best effort in your production?
So there was a guy by the name of Andre Napier that I met when I first started. He kind of like mentored me in the event game, and he taught me so much about producing events, because his background was, he came from doing producing tours for Al Heyman Productions back in the day. So when he brought me in and he put so much faith in me, and he had so much, like, he just taught me so much. And the fact that he put so much faith in me coming into the game with no experience, and he felt like I had something in me to make it happen, I just never wanted to disappoint him. And from that perspective, it's like, and from that point on, like, I've always been surrounded by great people in the event business. I never wanted to be the weak link. I always wanted to be the one that added value to the production, added value to the situation. So I never wanted to be that weak link, the guy that, like, why do we have this guy around? And it became contagious to the point where all I know to do is to do it the right way, or don't do it at all. That's much, the way it is, man. So it's like, if I'm gonna put my foot on, put my name on it, I'm gonna put my foot in it. I'm gonna make sure it pops off the right way.
That's what's up.
Appreciate that. So we have another question. And Jay, since you're on there, we're going to go ahead and, you just took them off. But we're going to post this up here. And it's from Michael Williams out of the Bay Area. So it's our brother Mike. Do each of you have one favorite cigar? Is that even possible? If not, maybe I smoke this one the most, your go-to. My favorite, I'll start with that one. Lately, and my palate changes, but lately I've been smoking the J Fuego Americana. I don't know what it is about that cigar. It's a full body, full flavor, full strength type of cigar, and I thought my palate was changing, but that's been one of my go-to cigars. So let's start with Skully. Skully, what you got?
Oh my gosh. People ask me that all the time, and right now at this time, I really don't have a favorite, because I just enjoy trying out new cigars. And there's some that I smoke on the regular, probably La Roma de Cuba, the El Jefe, just because you get the most bang for your buck, and that's kind of maybe a go-to. But right now I'm in a period where and I've been in this zone for about 3 years of just smoking and just experimenting, testing my palate to see what else is out there. It's like wine; it's endless.
Right.
And so I don't want to just be trapped in a zone of this is all I smoke. You know the people that just say I only smoke Cubans. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it. I think nowadays there's just so many different types of cigars. A lot of small batch cigars that are coming out that are really good. So I think a lot of people just really experiment, like you said, and try and smoke all kinds of different cigars,
Yeah.
as long as it's in their profile.
Now,
A lot of
I would say actually at the top before the El Jefe, probably now that I think about it, I smoke more Perdomo, the Habano.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke that a lot now that I think about it, and the El Jefe, so I kind of go in between those.
You go back and forth.
So when I don't know what to smoke, and I go in and I'm like trying to decide, I'm gonna grab one or the other.
How about Jimmy? What you got? Because you review cigars.
Yeah, so I'm on the same page as Scully. I mean, I go into a humidor and I probably have smoked a lot of what's in that humidor, if not everything. Now, if there's something new on the shelf I've not had, I might go get that. But normally I'm going to scan it, and I'm on Scully's page really close. I'm going after the La Roma de Cuba Mi Amor.
Oh, I love that cigar.
Oh, yeah.
Great cigar, consistent. I love it. The other thing, though, I will say that I've smoked 25 of these in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Is that a Rocky?
This is the Rocky Patel Mareva, which is the Cigar Smoking World Championship cigar.
We didn't talk about that.
No, I was going to actually bring that out because I wanted you to elaborate on that, Jimmy.
But let me just say,
yes,
I will. So this cigar, but from a cigar perspective, you can buy these in shops, regardless if you're in a contest or not. They're only like They're like $9.95 a stick. They're Coronas. This is a absolutely phenomenal cigar from Rocky Patel. Absolutely phenomenal. If I was to rate this cigar, it would be way the hell up there. The burn is pristine all the way down. The flavors, the chocolate, the caramels, the notes I'm getting out of this. Even right now, while it's not lit because I cut it because I had to come in, I'm just here cold puffing this thing, and I'm just still tasting the food. It's so freaking good. But yeah, this contest is a great contest. Follow me as we go along, because I'll be in Pittsburgh next Saturday to compete against 12 other winners of the regionals, and the winner of that goes to Croatia for the World Championship. And I won my local one. I won my local one just the other night, Thursday night. I smoked this 42 ring gauge, and you only get 3.5 inches down to the band pretty much, but it took me 2 hours and 1 minute plus seconds.
What? That's hard to do.
Hell yes.
That's hard to do. Well, congratulations, and we will follow you on that. Michael, there was a question from Jermaine. He's been asking a bunch of questions. So again, to all the gents, I know you guys have been to a lot of lounges. What is the best shop you've been to throughout your travels? And he said, hey, Casey, hello to you, Arlene, and Ty, and Nikki. Get well soon. Okay. So what has been your one of the best lounges that you've gone to in your travels? Let's start with Jay.
I would say Industrial Cigars in Dallas, Texas.
What makes them so good?
It was different. Their selection of cigars are, I mean, this guy he's like a, God, how can I even describe it? He's like a cigar historian. He had pre-embargo Cuban cigars in their humidor. It's like a bank vault. He keeps all the special stuff back there that you will never see anywhere else. And it's a family-owned cigar shop, beautiful shop, and the hospitality when we went there was amazing.
Wow. So what was the name of it again?
Industrial Cigars in Dallas, Texas.
Industrial Cigars. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for that. Arlene?
Well, you know, I'm a little biased with my home lounges, but I like all of the cigar lounges that I've been to, whether they're small, tiny, family owned.
Look at Lord Puffer over there on the side.
Yes. So my heart will always be Lord Puffer because you walk in and you walk into the humidor. It's a walk-in humidor. It's like over 1,000 square foot, right, JJ? It's like eh, 3,000 square foot. Oh, that's just 1,000 is my special premium area.
Oh, of
So
course.
that's
Of
always going
course.
to be my home lounge. But let me tell you, Grand Cathedral in Tampa, I've never seen anything like it, right? It's the church. It's built, it's an original church. The original brick building it's all outside. It was built in like 1912 and they renovated the whole inside, 4 levels, and they turned it into a cigar lounge VIP. There's membership, there's 24-hour access. I mean, it's just amazing. And it's in Tampa. It's in Ybor City, for God's sake. So, but I have quite a few favorites. So the Red Phone Booth in Atlanta is one of my favorites. Like, I have a lot.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Boston Jimmie, what's yours?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't go down from my list of award-winning cigar lounges that I've been to, because I give an award now every year for the best cigar lounge that I visited that year. But
Okay.
when I started that, and I still go back to this, is Tailored Smoke in Charlotte, North Carolina. The experience that you have there was unlike anything else. Not so much just because it's a really beautiful lounge and it has a nice back private room and it's got a beautiful bar, but they offer you what's called the Tailored Smoke experience, which brings you sit down, and there is a Fleming Steakhouse. This is in the epicenter of where the Charlotte Hornets play, that complex. There's a
Nice.
steakhouse there. You sit down, you can order a meal. The waiter comes into the lounge, beautifully decked out, holds up the platter, puts it down, takes the silver thing off. You got your steak and your fixings and everything. Your silverware is presented to you. And, of course, they got a fine selection of wine. And then when you get done eating this beautiful steak while you're smoking a cigar, if you wish, then you go and you have a Tailored Smoke Old Fashioned. And they have a unique way of making it, where they smoke the chips inside of a wooden cigar box where they put the drink in. The whole experience is just mind-blowing when you go through this. So I have to give a big shout out to them. But I'll agree that I gone to a lot of lounges, Executive Cigar Lounge, my home lounge in Melbourne, and their sister lounge in Sanford, Florida is amazing. And yes, I do need to get over to Tampa, because I got to get the Cathedral to do a review on that, because I want it in this year's book.
Well, we're going to be there in December. Arlene got that scheduled for us to do a walkthrough and an interview with Angela. So there was a question, Arlene, where in Tampa is the Cathedral?
It is, oh gosh. How about, Sean, I send you the address, but it's maybe like a mile away from Ybor City. So I don't know exactly what the street address is, but I'll send that to you. That's from Sean Allen, right?
Yes.
I'll send it to you.
I don't think you need to go through you don't have to go over any bridge yet there. I think it's on the east side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yes. So Skully, what's your favorite lounge in Arkansas?
In Arkansas, it's my home lounge, West End Cigars. I've been a member there for 7 years, and the reason why it's not a large, fancy type lounge, but these guys are true and real, and most of my relationships that I have now, and especially when we talk about genuine relationships, were built in this lounge. And so I can't talk about cigars and favorites without putting them in that, because we just got this strong relationship down through the years. And my education came from that. I've been out of the country with these guys, going to Esteli. We've had events together. We've done travel together, all kind of stuff. Going through stuff in my life. These guys were there for me. I've been there for some of them. So, I mean, that shop is home base, right? And when these other lounges started opening up, and I would visit, and I visit lounges, and everybody knows that, but West End Cigars is always home. Now, as far as like higher end, believe it or not, there's a city, Fort Smith, Arkansas, which is home of like Fort Chaffee, Army base. But in Fort Smith, Arkansas, there is probably one of the best lounges in the country compared to those that I've visited. This place, it's recycling air every 12 minutes. I've sat in this place for 8 hours and walked out and never smelled like smoke. They've got a patio with heated floors. The humidor is not that big, but they've got great stuff in their humidor. They make an excellent old fashioned. We go up there. We just it's about 2 hours away from Little Rock. So we actually plan a road trip. And that was part of my road trip when we did the Northwest Arkansas tour. We got to stop by. It's called 906 Lounge in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And we love going there. We spend most of our day there. We did the March Madness tournaments there, Sweet 16. We went up there.
Nice.
And hung out all day. But in Arkansas, those are probably my two favorite
ones.
Oh yeah.
Michael, are there any other questions?
Well, I wanted to ask Miss Casey, because Miss Casey obviously has been around. She's traveled to various different lounges throughout. And so, Casey, the question is back on you.
For me, I would be remiss. My cigar passion probably started in college. So, like others, my home lounge, Lake Country Cigars with Mary Lynn and Don King.
Oh, yes.
They treat everybody like family. And because of where they're located, you can go out there on a Wednesday and you feel like you're on vacation. They host the Little Smoke every year. The shop is now under new ownership. The GM, Matt, I went to college with him actually, but he became the owner. He took over. So as a home lounge, that is a great spot. Yule's in Milwaukee. It is the only cigar lounge we have in downtown Milwaukee. I've relocated to Memphis. So here, the closest shop to me is it's a speakeasy. So you've got to knock on the door, go in the front entrance, come out the back entrance. It's Fat Charlie's. So that one it's very small, very intimate. The owner has an amazing music playlist. They make great cocktails. They've got a cigar selection. So if you're a smoker or Memphis, yes, that's where I've been for the last 2 years. So Fat Charlie's located over by the river in Harbortown. It's over a stone's throw from the Mississippi. But Fat Charlie's. And then also Havana is a downtown shop. So it's got a lot of locals, Robusto Havana mix. It has a lot of locals, but it also has, like, the tourists are all there. So that's a great one. And then for me, having worked in the airline industry, I like to pop into shops as I travel. Still, one of my favorites was Prime in Miami, because they're, again, a humidor is a humidor, right? If they've got a great selection, but their cocktails are phenomenal. They were the first smoky old fashioned that I had. And then I can't remember the name of it right now, but I enjoyed a small lounge in Paris when I went. It was it was set up like a library in a hotel, and it was amazing. So I like to pick and choose with my, as I travel, different spots. But like the other folks said, Cathedral, I can't wait to get to Cathedral with the team. I cannot wait.
Yeah, that's going to be in December.
I'll be there.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Who said that?
Hey, Michael Louis.
Yes.
I got to, while I'm here, I got to shout out because this was like a impromptu thing. So I'm actually in Chicago right now, and me and the wife just got away for the weekend just to get away because we get ready to get real busy. But I just kind of did the cigar, and she did too. We were like Googling places where we could get to real quick while we left this brunch, and Casa de Monte Cristo, Countryside, Illinois. I walk in, I talk to a young man behind the counter, tell him what I'm trying to do, what's going on, and he's like, yeah, I got a spot for you. He takes me on the elevator downstairs, bring me to this conference room, like, you can set up in here. I was like, well, how much? He's like, don't worry about it, man. So he takes me up, and he goes, we pick out cigars, and he's going through, and they've got house blends that are only, you know how it is, exclusive to here. We pick out some cigars and stuff like that. But another guy walks in and is like, hey, this cigar here, the owner really likes that. And this kid was like, yeah, the owner loves it and all that. And I said, okay. He's like, well, this is the son of the owner. And I'm like, well, this guy's real humble. He wasn't like on some bougie stuff like this is my shop or anything like that. And so I just got to shout these guys out that they really show some love to a guy walking in off the street. Never seen me before, and that's the thing I love about the cigar culture, the industry, the shops. It's just they show love, man, and I had to say something about them. So thank you.
Oh no, thank you.
I've got a couple of shout outs too.
Okay.
Well, let me just say this real quick. I don't have a favorite cigar shop. My favorite cigar shop is any of the shops that embrace Louis in a positive way, similar to that of what you just shared, Scully. There's a lot of beautiful shops out there, and we all know that we've been to other shops where, we didn't feel quite welcome. And so, I don't have a favorite one. My favorite one is whichever one that I'm in at the time, and they're treating, my better half with the respect that's due.
Thanks,
That's
babe.
it.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thanks, babe.
Thank you. Thanks, babe.
Michael, that sentiment is, I think, very necessary and is something to be said. Like folks that know you guys as a couple and as business partners, we see a lot of different things. And that's something that means something to me too, because to me, the cigar industry, from what I've experienced, we'll say 75% of the time is an inclusive thing. That was one of the joys that I had up in Milwaukee, was doing some events that just included everybody, regardless of if you were man or woman, regardless of race, etc. Folks enjoyed cigars. And as you said, there's some places I've gone to where you just don't feel welcome. And with that being said, one of the shops that I was going to shout out was Aphelion in Maryland, in Gambrills, Maryland. I'm not sure kind of the general area, but that's the little town that it's in. But Aphelion, I went there. One of my friends picked me up from the airport, and we went there like 10 o'clock at night. And the owners were phenomenal. They were like, oh, it's our anniversary weekend. Come back on Saturday. We went on Saturday, and I felt like I was one of the founding members of the shop. They have a 24-hour lounge they have a 24-hour lounge that members have access to. It was the first time I met a lot of the folks in Maryland. I met Boss Man, things like that. And the welcome that I received from that ownership group was top notch. They were just friendly and amazing. And I think that in terms of culture, they have something that can be taught to a lot of lounges. You know,
Yeah.
because they do welcome everybody, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's really important. Because as women, we want to feel comfortable in the setting that we're going to be spending a couple hours in. Sometimes 4, 6 hours. You don't even realize how long you've been in cigar lounge, because you're having
Right.
such a good time having conversation. And so now we're at the 5:45 here in Miami, and I wanted to start our closing words. Okay, so we're going to go around, and I want you guys to share anything that's on your mind with respect to the industry, the community, and your closing words, your wishes for the industry. Who wants to go first? Anybody?
Let's start with
I'll go
Repeat it
first.
again, Louis.
JJ.
Okay, so go ahead, JJ. So it's basically your closing words. What are your wish? What's your wish going forward for the industry and for the cigar community?
Listen, my first real cigar experience was in Pasadena, California, and I was the only white guy. It was a bunch of Korean dudes, Armenian dudes, black dudes, and it was the greatest experience I've ever had because it was just a bunch of people getting together. And I think my hope for the industry is exactly what you see on this screen, and that's a wide variety of colors of men and women all coming together. I mean, isn't that what we all want to hope for, right? Like we want places where everybody feels included, everybody feels valued, and we can all share in the hand rolled leaf, that we all love, and share experiences. So for me, being on this show and seeing the view on the screen that I see of just all kinds of people coming from all walks of life all over the country it's fantastic to me. And that may just sound like, I don't know, cliche or whatever, but I mean, that's truly where, as a manager of a store, creating the environment for the environment of hospitality for people of all walks of life is where I really want to be. So that's kind of my parting word. So I'm just humbled and thankful to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you for being on the show with us, JJ.
Thank you, JJ.
It means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
It's been so great because I mean, we've been around each other for a long time, and it's just so cool to always be seeing what you guys are doing, and I love every time we get to catch up. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you. We'll come visit you in San Diego soon, hopefully.
Please do.
Can't wait to see you in San Diego, JJ.
Yeah. So
that's
Jay,
another get together.
What's your closing words and what's your wish for the industry moving forward?
My wish for the industry is to just keep it cigars, keep it respectful, and just try to limit the unnecessary drama and just smoking cigars at the end of the day. So it's like if we could just keep it at smoking cigars, enjoying great conversation, great company. That's what I want to see the industry continue to strive towards that direction. And just keep the cigars, man. That's it. Enjoy smoke with some great company and great conversation.
Amen.
Amen to that. Thank you.
Drink to that.
Thank you. Scully, what you got?
I'm like with Jay Ferg. I just, I would rather us just keep it 100, be honest, be humble, be understanding, grow the culture, but educate at the same time. And so even with events and stuff, what I've learned, I always want to put education in there about the industry, about, from the leaf to even the boxes, what all goes into making this what you enjoy and what you're doing, like selfies and posts and all that. And that's all great, but there's a lot of stuff that went into it. And so educating everybody to understand that this is something that's not to be taken lightly. And then with the laws and stuff crazy and all that you just want to make sure that people understand and support and not just look at it as just the opportunity to come up or to to just get JJ said, get some likes and some hearts and all of that. This is a for real thing, and from my aspect, it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood that I can't deny. And so I love that aspect of it, and I just want to keep that going. Building relationships, meeting people, networking. Some of these people have impacted my children, in certain ways, and so that wouldn't have taken place had I not had this passion for cigars. And so I come from it from that angle. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to see fake shit.
Yeah. Tell it, brother.
I really do. I hate to see fake shit. I mean, be genuine.
For sure.
You guys have been in this longer than I have, and I just want to be genuine. All I got is my name. At the end of the day, if you don't want to do this or that, I still got a 9 to 5 I can run to and be a part of. But I'm doing this because I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love all of that goes into it. And so if my name's attached, I'm gonna have it as genuine and as a pleasant of event that I can do within my capability, right? And build those relationships that I may not even know about. Just, hey, we met here, such and such, and they go on about something else and go from that point. Because in Arkansas, I was like the first one to do an event outside of the cigar shops. And so that was different for us, because whenever we did cigar stuff, it was at a local shop. So it was like uncharted waters that I was going into and didn't know if it was going to be supportive or if it was going to go over well. And so now it's kind of growing, and you got people that are really interested in being a part of it. It's just, I love to see shop owners around the state and around the country set aside the competition shit and just understand cigar smokers are going to go where the hell they want to go, where they feel comfortable, where they like. And if that's your shop, thank them. If they go somewhere else, don't hate, don't be mad. It's okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really all I got to say about that. I love this industry.
Yay. Your wife said yes, babe.
She's right here. Y'all want to see? She's sitting right beside me.
Hey, Rhonda.
Hey.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Where's Jimmy?
Much love to you guys.
Thank
Where's
you.
Jimmy?
Casey's still frozen.
Jimmy had to leave for family, so he said, thank you, ladies, for reaching out and extending the olive branch, and he's very appreciative.
That's freaking hilarious.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy. Casey, are you there?
That is fantastic.
Frozen face.
I love these frozen faces.
Dude, that frozen face is awesome.
You have some frozen words. What's your wish for the industry?
Me and JJ just had this conversation, and I think it's the same sentiments that everybody has been saying all day today. So there's enough to go around. There's so much knowledge out there, so I don't understand why the drama. Why is there so much drama? Why is there so much competition? And JJ can chime in on this too, but when you walk into a cigar lounge or a shop or whatever, and you're just having conversation, share that knowledge. I mean, share what you know. There's just no reason why we should be competing. There's no better podcast than anyone else's. People are doing podcasts. People are doing them. Cigar lounges, we don't even have enough of them. They're going up left and right, but know your shit. That's all I say is, like everybody else is saying, I think your knowledge base is important. I think our voices are important. You guys know what my pet peeve is, right? It's knowing what you can do to change the industry. We got laws and shit coming up left and right that's going to prevent us from enjoying our cigars in our own homes, in our lounges. So I think we need to get involved in a lot of that stuff. Don't just sit there and smoke cigars. Know what you're smoking and learn the laws that go behind it, so that we can continue to enjoy it. That's my word.
Amen.
Thank you. Exactly. Arlene, you and I talked about that before, and we're going to have a segment where we're going to discuss that, right? I mean, we're going to have an episode that
Yes.
we're going to discuss that.
I think we need to.
We do.
We do.
So Casey is frozen, but Michael and I came out here to sit with Michael. I came out here to sit with Michael because I want to do the closing words with him. For us, Michael.
You got to freeze.
Really?
Everybody freeze.
I know, right? Our wish for the industry moving forward is pretty much the same sentiment as everyone. Jay Ferg, you talked about, just keep it cigars. It's all about this, the fellowship of, that's the reason why Michael and I really got into doing our events, because we truly enjoy bringing everyone together and seeing everyone have a good time. It's not about us. It's truly about their experience. And coming to this coming October, we're going to be in Napa, and Michael and I were just talking about this the other day, that we're embarking into uncharted territory for us, people of color. In a city that really hasn't welcomed us. And so even our oldest son basically said, you guys are doing something that no one's done before.
Well, we do have a question, and I want to address that. I'm going to bring JJ on board with respect to that. But I was on the phone yesterday or the day before with Omar Hilton. You guys know him as Amizi. And he was letting me know that he and 40 and the rest of the dudes, they were up there in Napa, and they did this event at Bottleneck. And he was saying that the folks that were there, they weren't really receptive. They were holding up signs talking about go home, go home.
Wow. Wow.
And so, for us, this is a big, huge footprint that we need to leave and place a stamp there in Napa, showing them that people of culture and people of color, we can come together and do something, with them or without them. We need to be able to do that. And so, I'm not like the biggest person I'm like with Jay Ferg, I'm all about diversity. I've never been, it had to be an all Afro-American type of thing, because like Louis said, we've always wanted to be that conduit to bring the manufacturers, the retail, and the people together. And where a lot of people weren't taking the risks and, utilizing their own funds in doing production. And there's a difference in regards to putting on a party or producing something. And Jay, I know, so with that said, it was important for us to be able to do this in Napa. So, I've reached out to brewing companies that are Afro-American owned. I've reached out to, liquor companies. I've reached out to basically, every genre of company that's out there. There's a young lady that's going to be coming out of New York that owns a water plant. The young lady that is involved with her own crypto. So, there are people that are culture and or color, that are doing things here in this United States that, a lot of us are not aware of. And, we want to utilize our stage and our platform to introduce them to you guys, and introduce them to, to the nation, and to try to do the best that we can do. But, I want to touch on this one question. And Jay, I want to bring you back on with us with respect to that, or I'll let you respond to that. It says, what are your thoughts on assisting those who come into shops unprepared? And this is from M1 and blowing.
It says mind
blowing. There you go.
Mind blowing.
Hey, it's the juice.
Hey,
here's the juice.
It's the juice. Here's the best part about this. that's the best customer in the world. Like, that is the most fun you can have. When it comes to assisting people who come in who are unprepared or not, like, you know, they don't know anything. It's fantastic, because I would say the number one thing you can do for that person is just remain completely open, right? Start them in a, you know, maybe if they want something flavored, they want something big, they want something small. I mean, what I try and do is just kind of provide opportunities for them, different options, and embrace how awesome it is that they're starting their journey. And then when they do purchase cigars, the thing that I make sure I do for them is I say things like, listen, take pictures of the bands of the cigars you really like and the cigars you don't like, because then when you come back into the store, any one of our team can come and say, oh, you like that one? Oh, sweet. Well, now then you can go to this one or this one or this one, and you can start your journey and how exciting it is. I mean, being excited for people starting that journey is the number one thing. And we can do that as cigar smokers, not just as people who work in cigar lounges. I mean, cigar smokers can do the same thing, man. Put your arm around them and say, welcome to the family. Like,
Exactly.
that's the best part. Like, that's just fantastic. And then, you know, get them a good seat and tell everybody. I know I've been on the patio at Lord Puff when a brand new smoker comes in and buys his first cigar, and I walk out and I introduce him to all the guys and say, hey, everybody, this is his first cigar. And everybody starts clapping, and you create just a good vibe for people. I think that's the most important thing you can do for brand new smokers.
JJ, can I say something real quick? Is it okay?
Yeah.
JJ, I saw the question come up, and I think the other side of that, and this is what I read into the question was, I'm in cigar groups, and a lot of times they come down on people that smoke cigars, that maybe show up to a lounge and they don't have a torch or their own cutter, and they kind of like, you should bring your own shit, you smoke cigars, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you go, my take is, if I may go to that lounge, I may be coming from work, I don't have all my shit with me, or whatever the case may be, but I'm in a lounge, so that stuff is provided. Why are you getting pissed off if somebody asks you, like if I'm sitting there and somebody says, man, you got a torch. If I got my torch, I'm going to hand them my torch. I'm not going to be like, why you didn't bring your own shit, or you need to have your own, you know. It's people out there like that is what I'm saying. And I think that they're the snobs, or I don't even know what to call it. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what it is. And there's so many people who knock people who smoke infused cigars. There's people who knock people that, you know, like you said, who don't have a torch. I mean, for the longest time, when I started smoking cigars 17 years ago, I didn't go around carrying a torch and a cutter with me. You know, I actually had to go into a cigar lounge and ask if I could borrow one. You know, so, you know, nowadays I think it's become very snobbish.
Yes.
And I wish we can change that. I really do. Because there's Ty Rose says, you know, cigar smokers are not friendly to newbies.
That's
and
right.
that makes me sad to hear that.
Yeah,
that,
can I say
that
something
they have to
about
go
this?
through that. Yes.
Let me respond to, man, that is all on whoever owns or is running that cigar lounge at that point. Man, you are in charge of the environment. If you have people on your patio who are rude to new people, you need to address those people.
Yes.
Like, you need to say, hey, brother, this guy's brand new. Not only is he going to be a customer at my store, but he's going to be sitting next to you. So, hey, let's just all get along. Like, that kind of shit is so crazy to me, that somebody has a problem with a cutter or a lighter. I mean, and as a store manager or an owner, man, you got to make that stuff readily available. You got to be able to show them the fresh new ways to cut and all the different options.
Yes.
I mean, if anything, when you're in that position, that's a position to sell.
Yes.
Exactly.
They don't have it.
Exactly.
And so you say, oh, you don't have a burner? Oh, man, I got $5.99 lighters over there you can have for the whole weekend. I've given my lighter to people, say, hey, listen, you're on vacation, just come back and give it to me. Like, that's crazy that people aren't thinking about it, right? The number one thing in cigar world is that we are in the business of hospitality. We are not in the business of selling shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the business of hospitality, then you're going to make sure that person has everything they need, no matter whether they're on vacation or they're your next regular. Like that's what it is. And if you're going to a business that isn't doing that, Scully, man, I wouldn't go back to that business. Find another shop.
Well,
these are the great equalizer. Like what I know, it doesn't matter how much you pay for your cigar. You can have a poor guy and a wealthy guy sit down and smoke and have a conversation that they wouldn't have outside of that lounge or that shop. And that's what I love about these right here.
Mm-hmm.
It brings us together, and it just equalizes everybody.
Exactly. Well, Dimitri Perro says, at our local lounge, everyone is welcome. It doesn't matter who you are, what you drive, or your value. All that smoke together are now brothers and sisters. And he says, so sorry to hear this. And then we got Jermaine saying he's going to play the devil's advocate. He's saying basically that he called it a simple bum that's out there. We have those too. You know, that bum cigars off of other people. I mean, I know Arlene gets that all the time. And I know Arlene can speak on it. You want to speak on it real quick? Go ahead.
Wait, I have to unmute myself. Sorry. But yeah, so look, we do have to share. Okay. Sometimes you have to watch like those nasty ass people, right? But we're gonna but I do share. Shit, I'll buy them their own cutter and lighter if that's what it takes, right? But look, you don't know who that person is that you're sharing, or you're sharing that knowledge, or you're sharing your accessories with. That could be like this multi-millionaire that's going to invest in your business, or so you never know who you're talking to or who you're sitting next to. So be careful, and watch that, because that's really important. We've met so many great people, like all walks of life, but in like some really great financial, businesses that can help you with what you're doing. So, but yeah, the bums though, the regular bums, you guys know who those are. Those bums are going to always, they're never going to have their fucking cigar. They're never going to have shit. But I am not, look, they can take their ass in there, go buy a cigar. But if we were at an event, and there's no cigars, I bring my own shit. But I also bring stuff for people like who don't really smoke great, because I have really good cigars, and you're just, you gotta be really special to get one of those. But I do bring regular cigars for anybody. I even bring flavored stuff for the girls. So I try to be prepared, because I never know who I'm going to meet out there. But I also want to be that person to show them like, hey, this is a great industry. Cigar smoking is beautiful, and there's so much knowledge behind it. So I like to share.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. So, gosh, y'all, we've been on this 2 hours now, but it's such a great conversation. And I know that, Scully, you got to get going too, because you guys got to fly out. So we're just going to go ahead and end it. Michael, I'm going to put it like that. So we're just going to go ahead and end it. Jay Ferg's coming back on board. And so we just want to say thank you so much for the time that you've spent with us. It really means a lot to us. Scully, Jay Ferg.
Love y'all.
We love you too.
Jay Ferg, I hope to meet you guys soon.
Yeah, baby.
And Arlene, I'll see you next, it's not September yet, but
October.
Yeah, we'll see you guys there.
In Napa. And Jay Ferg, Michael and I truly want to one day be able to collaborate with you on a future event. There's that's one thing that Michael and I want to do in the future is really work with other people who are in this industry doing, basically, event production. And I think we can, as a collaboration, be able to create some really great things.
Yeah, Jay, I wanted to tell you, man. I had gotten hit by Cigar and Spirits publisher Lincoln. I don't know if you know Lincoln or not, but we've known him for quite some time. When we were heavily involved with very, very heavy. When we were involved with our tequila and we supported his events, and he reached out to us and he said, hey, you know what? He does an event there in LA and he does an event in Texas. And he's like, I want to do something with you guys. Let's get a group of us. Let's put something together. It could be anywhere in the country. So, once we get done with our event in October, we have 4 already scheduled for next year. But once we get done with October, we can sit down and burn one and, chop it up and see, what he's talking about and see if you want to be involved with that.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
All right. Thank you guys so much, JJ.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you,
So in
Scully.
closing,
Bye, Rhonda.
In closing, guys, I'm always about the long ashes, slow burns. One love. That's what I'm about. Again, I'm very appreciative of everybody that showed up today. All of our guests, and then ladies, obviously you guys. I don't know what happened to Miss Casey. And, Ty, I hope that you are feeling better, and you come back and, hang out with us a little bit more. JJ, I appreciate you, boy. We go back, back in the day in Fuego,
Yes, sir.
Ferg, it was our pleasure, man, to be able to come here to your city, man, and, try to do something here as well to bring some people down here to Florida. And one day we'll chop that up in regards to what that vision looks like and see what you think about that. And the Scully, man, look, man, when you call me and you need something, dude, I got you. I got you. So, Louis, you have any closing words?
No, that's it. Thank y'all so much.
Right.
Where our love is, and I say ciao for now from Miami. So,
Arlene?
Michael, can let's have DJ White Chocolate close us out with some beats.
I don't have any beats. You crazy? Damn.
You can't flow?
The juices.
The pea juice.
It's juicy. It's juicy.
All right.
I love you guys. Thank you, brothers.
Thank you guys. Love you all.
You guys take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.